What's up, world? Welcome back to Sneakers and Sports, brought to you by The Culture. So we have a very special guest to come on here on Wax to talk about the NFL draft. No other than Adam Blake of Adam Sports, man. We appreciate you pulling up. You know, you got the right name for this. I would say you are Adam Schefter. That's going to give us the,
Appreciate
the
it.
expert breakdown of the draft. So welcome to the show, brother.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. And before we get into this thing, man, I know you got your own podcast. Why don't you let the people know where they can find you at?
Yeah, Inside the Locker Room podcast. You can find us on Instagram. I believe we still need to make an actual YouTube page, but you can find all of our videos on Adam B Sports as well. NFL Playmakers is my guy Ben. Sports Talk with Deuce is my guy Brandon. And then we've got Michael's Sports Talk as well. But we all just met one day and just decided to make a podcast. And yeah, it's been awesome so far.
That's what's up.
Listen, it's your man Big Ticket doing big things. You checking out Sneakers and Sports, you heard?
What's up, man? Well, shoot, let's go ahead and get the party started, man. So we already kind of know what's happening at one. Adam, do you see any instance where Cam Ward is not the number one pick?
I honestly don't. At first, I was a big believer in just take Abdul Carter, just take like the best player available. But even then, I've changed my stance, and I think Travis Hunter is the best. He's the number one guy on my board now. So I do think it's probably a lock taking Cam Ward first overall. I see a little shades of Ben Roethlisberger in him. So Titans might have something good with him.
Yeah,
that's a big compliment.
Yeah, they need a Ben Roethlisberger. They need something, man. It's been a while since they had some stability offensively, you know.
Yeah, he's like just that size, ability to like shrug someone off. Got a little bit of that off script, and then he's got the cannon arm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he takes command of that offense too, man. As he did that in Miami, that was real. Watching him this season, I think he's gonna do pretty good.
No, exactly. And like some people think he just kind of came out of nowhere, but he was really good at Wazoo for a couple of years as well.
Absolutely. Yeah,
right in my state.
Adam, I was gonna say you can't blame him for what happened in Miami, man. He didn't have a whole team around him. And for the Titans, to me, as long as it's not Will Levis, that's going in the right direction. Because I never was a big believer in Will Levis in the first place.
I was never a biggest believer. And it's like you see like some of the most dominant quarterbacks, and they're not like the most ripped guys. They don't have the biggest biceps. So I'm not saying it was a red flag with Will Levis, but like he's a little bit more of like a workout warrior than anything, it seems like.
Hey, Tim Tebow 2.0.
Honestly, though, yeah. Maybe a little bit better passer. I'll give him some credit with the passing. He's a little bit better than Tebow was passing.
Yeah. Outside of like Cam's extreme confidence, which we've seen on display, I think that little interaction with Shadour when they were doing like the workouts and stuff, and you know he was kind of chirping at Shadour. What other Adam? When did you know that this guy was like the guy for this quarterback draft class?
It wasn't necessarily right away. I am a big believer in Shadour Sanders as well. Yeah, and like Mel Kiper, he still got Shadour Sanders as his number one quarterback. Has not wavered from that this entire draft process. I think it's more you put him in the Titans offense, and where he's going to be getting hit nonstop. I just think just with that Ben Roethlisberger comparison, he's just a guy that will. I mean, I think Shadour has all the toughness in the world, but I just think that the frame of Cam Ward, just being able to like fight off defenders and still get something up, that's the reason he's my number one guy. But it's really close for me. It's just a matter of I just think that he's a fit with the Titans.
Gotcha.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Yeah, and I listen to Dan Lebatard, so that's a Miami show. So I follow Miami, pretty, just by listening, and they're really high on him and just following him every week. That team, he was Miami. He was the only reason why, he was, we were even talking about Miami. So
No, exactly.
I just think him going to the Titans with Titans being, you might call him a Thursday night football champion. They always on Thursday night football.
I think the Canes had some juice, even starting last year. It's just like, if they didn't go shoot themselves in the foot a few times, like against Tech, You know, it's like
Right.
Mario Cristobal likes to give away, snatch the jaws of victory from the, or however it's the opposite, right? He likes to snatch the jaws of defeat from victory. But I think the Canes had some juice. I think just Cam just made it more electrifying. That offense was clicking.
I mean, a great quarterback's always going to make the offense more electrifying and bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
You know, I like to say I see a lot of intangibles with him. I see what people were saying a couple years ago with Malik Willis, but Malik Willis is undersized, right? Where this guy is not. And I feel like he has the athleticism that Malik had that they wanted with better accuracy and not undersized. Plus, I'm not sure that Malik really got a right opportunity to really show what he could do.
Well, he was at Liberty. You know, at Auburn, I feel differently. I think Malik Willis had the frame. He had all the skills that you see from the outside. But at Auburn, he didn't have enough confidence, one, which Cam has plenty of.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't make all the throws. Like Adam said, Cam was at Washington State when he was with the Cougars, he was just flinging that thing around. He got all that practice from that West Coast offense or system, and then he came to Miami and just kind of did his thing.
Right.
Malik Willis never really, when you're at Liberty, of course you're going to be the man, So, I don't know.
Well, shout out to Liberty. They got a nice campus, man. They got a nice campus. I see it. It's really nice.
Yeah, no shit on Liberty.
Yeah, they're growing leaps and bounds. They're just not they're not in that Miami echelon, ACC.
So, I mean, in the world we live in now with the transfer portal and everything, sometimes it is just you're one quarterback away. I won't get too much in that NIL contracts and everything because I mean I think they should be paid, but I think they're gonna figure it out over time. But with Tennessee's quarterback, they just saw him he was gonna get $2.4 million left, trying to seek $4 million, and now it looks like he's gonna take 1.75 mil to go to UCLA. So it's he's going to end up taking a pay cut just because he's got some bad advice, it sounds like.
Yeah, Nico's been getting cooked, man.
The interesting thing I see with NIL is a couple things. One, you got kids that are trying to negotiate professional contracts that aren't really ready for that. You have situations where you're negotiating money, not necessarily looking at what's a winning situation.
Yeah.
Because a winning situation will make you more money later. You got enough money to stay in school.
Right.
If they give you $20,000, that's enough for you to stay in school and be okay and not be broke. But now you're talking about $100,000, $1 million, you should be fine. Now you need to look for a winning situation. The other thing I was starting to see, a little sidebar, I think NIL is killing college basketball, to be honest, because dudes change teams so much, it makes it where what is my allegiance to this one school? Who cares?
Right.
These guys will be out a year later anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you can't just negotiate. Even in the league, there are only certain times where you can negotiate your contract or have these conversations. You can't just do it whenever you feel like it, right? And is it the kids or is it these handlers? Is it their parents? Is it
exactly
right?
Who are these people? Just making these sidebar. That's why Saban was out of there, and these other coaches.
Yeah,
right?
And I can't blame them.
Yeah.
It's hard to build the culture of a school and a program the same way they used to. There's that trust and just hey, I'm going to go to Nick Saban. He's going to make me a first rounder. Now it seems to be all about money. I will say the one positive I think about the NIL is now teams or players seem to be staying in school an extra year sometimes because they are making the money. So we are getting, I think, some more polished quarterback prospects specifically. By the time they end up entering the draft. Also, we had the COVID years too, so you have some older quarterbacks. But age isn't always a bad thing, especially you've seen Jordan Love sit for a couple years. He was 25 by the time he became a starter, but it panned out. And sometimes it's better to just learn and just sit and wait.
Ask Michael Penix, man. Learning was the best thing for him, and I hope as a football fan, it keeps going in this direction as far as better talent. And even as a basketball fan, I hope that happens on the college basketball side. The guys stay in school because I always hear this conversation. Should they go back to high school? They should never do that. People always use Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady and these other guys as examples and Kevin Garnett.
LeBron.
Those are one-off situations. Most of the high schoolers were not ready to play. Y'all forgot about
exactly.
There's only like 5, 6, 7 people in history, man. All those high schools come straight to the pros, man. They are gone, man. They got little car dealership, used car dealership somewhere, man. They're not balling. So no.
Yeah, I think Jamal Crawford was maybe another one, but like again, it's like he was a great shooter, but like maybe he could have developed like an all-around game a little bit better.
There you go.
But man. I mean, great ball handler for sure.
Super. Hey man, I wouldn't want to see him. That dude got a crossover there to put you to sleep, man. Talking about used car salesman. That's what they call Jimmy Haslam right now in Cleveland after overpaying Deshaun Watson. What are you seeing is going to happen at 2? To me, this is where the draft really starts at 2. Mm-hmm. What you got happening at 2?
I've got Travis Hunter. He's my top player on my board. I think he instantly becomes, if not the wide receiver 1, the wide receiver 2 to Jerry Jeudy. So he's instantly going to help on offense. And it's like a team that could use him on both sides too. Mm-hmm. I think Travis Hunter, he's not necessarily even a top 10 pick if you don't use him on both sides. Like, you got to use like the full skill set. And I really, as a fan, I want to see it. Like, Champ Bailey, you never really saw it. Deion Sanders, you never really saw it. I know I'm missing one other. Oh, Woodson, Woodson was another one. It's like they never gave them the shot, so I want to see it. I really do.
With Deion, and you really saw it later on with the Cowboys. I know you remember that shocker more so than with the Falcons. And same thing, Sean. He played maybe 20% of snaps on offense.
Yeah, he did. He got some. The one thing that is surprising to me is not surprising because it's not surprising. Because Cleveland definitely needs the help. But
big time.
You hear Travis coming out saying, I'll step away. He's not apologetic about it. He's going to play both ways. So this is the first time we see somebody force a team's hand. But with him, I don't know about you guys. I feel comfortable. Like he has the win to do it. He has the
exactly.
He's in shape enough to do it. And he's got the talent. So, Adam, I kind of disagree. I would draft him top 10 as a corner for sure. I don't know about a receiver, but a corner, he'd be in my top 5 because he's that good of an athlete. But you're right. As a complete package, that like solidifies his top 3 status to me.
Yeah, that's what makes him like the top player on my board. I'd say like Jahdae Barron, I really love as a cornerback. Also, Will Johnson.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't, he might still be the number 1. I think he has the highest potential of all of them. But as far as like technician right now, he might slot in as this cornerback 3 behind them for me, or it's like almost like a 3-way tie. And then from wide receiver, I do think he is the most talented wide receiver as far as just like athleticism. If he just adds like 5-10 pounds of muscle, that man's gonna be a menace in the NFL. And I mean, he can jump out of the building. We haven't seen like all of his exact athletic numbers, but I think he's a great player, and I think he's a perfect fit for the Browns. If they didn't go to Travis Hunter, I think Abdul Carter going opposite of Myles Garrett. Just think about it. Like, they could be winning games like 13-10, and like it would be entertaining because you're just watching like the mammoth human beings just tackle the quarterback over and over. But I've just heard like a lot of whispers that it sounds like Travis Hunter just sounds like the guy at this point. And he's just, in my opinion, going to help you the most and be that maybe generational athlete that for like the next decade or longer.
Hey, Sean, if you the Browns, would you rather have a combination of Carter and Garrett? Now you got like basically a Micah Parsons and Garrett, and you can put them on the same side and make the offense decide, hey, who you want to double, because you can't double both of them. Or do you want to put in, and give Jerry Jeudy some help and bring Travis Hunter? And which one do you like better?
Man, you can make that line like one of the greatest lines ever, man. That's
looking like the Bears.
That's interesting, man. And I mean, you like you said, they're in the AFC. They got to get to the quarterback, man. They have to get to all those quarterbacks.
Yeah,
on the top of your board, of your scouting, said we got to get to these quarterbacks. The list goes on in the AFC. So
Joe Burrow, Lamar.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I think that line will be nasty. Who?
Because then it's like you could just I'm not saying like completely tank, but you could just start Flacco, see what happens, and then maybe get Arch Manning next year, and then you have like the nastiest defensive line with Arch Manning, or it still works with Travis Hunter too.
Right.
Like I think either pick's a slam dunk right there.
See, that's the thing. I think we've seen when Cleveland should have been tanking, where everybody in the world thinks they're tanking. Stefanski, like these guys are playing hard. Like Jameis was pulling out.
They're just not good enough.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
They're playing to win, and so I think we've already seen that their mindset is we're going to win now and worry about the other stuff later. So I agree with Adam. Both are a great pick. KP, I did want to say, man, you've been saying Parsons, and I agree. You know, I don't know. I think that Abdul Carter's hands are better than Parsons, man.
Oh, wow.
If that's crazy enough to say, they could be.
That's crazy enough.
The tape's insane. Like the ability, his bend, how he gets underneath the offensive lineman in a split second, and you're like, you barely blink your eyes, and he's already at the quarterback. That's what I think makes him like especially like such a special player. It's just that bend, like as a pass rusher, it's special.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Adam, I got to ask you, man, if you go with Hunter, are you drafting him as a receiver or as a DB? If you're Adam, if you Mr. Barry.
If you had a choice, if
I had to pick one, I would say wide receiver. If I had to pick one, just because I think like he's not Justin Jefferson, but like I think he could have that type of potential if he just focuses 100% on wide receiver. But at the same time, it's like I'm only using a top 2 pick on him if I'm using him both ways, and that's not taking anything away from him at all.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're Jimmy Haslam and you're Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, you coming off a season that was a complete disaster after going to the playoffs. So you got to turn things around. You got a disaster in Deshaun Watson. That's an arbitrage around your franchise. Wow. And now you're in a battle with the city to try to build a new stadium. You know, you got to put butts in the seats. So I think that's what you got to go with, man. You got to – those guys are in a bad situation. And for you to be going into trying to build a new stadium, I think that's the perfect guy to build around.
And you were saying Stefanski, and wasn't he coach of the year 2 years ago when they went to the playoffs? So it's like he's a phenomenal coach. So I think he's like Travis Hunter is even like a better pick because he can be under like the tutelage of a Stefanski and like a really, really like smart-minded coach that like makes the best of sometimes not the best team. So yeah, I think it's great.
Hey Sean, I see the Browns if they don't do this. And I no knock against Abdul Carter. I think he's going to be a monster. I'm not going to say the guy's going to be a bust. But I could just see if they pass on this guy, he could be generational like prime time. He's going to be one of them guys that's a first-name guy, like Odell. And you passed on him. And that's going to be the thing. It's going to be almost like what happened to the Hawks and Luka, right? We're going to live that down. You see that?
Right. Hey man, don't take straight. Why we got to take? Why you got pulled into this?
You know that was a bad decision.
I know. I don't want to even think about it.
I do love me some Trae Young though.
I love Ice Trae too, but he not Luka, man. Luka is
Luka's a difference. He moves the needle, man. Different.
It's just
I'm a Lakers fan too, so I'm enjoying this.
Honestly, we wouldn't. If we got Luka, what would we do with him? Right? You saw Dallas fumble.
Go to the NBA Finals.
I don't know.
In the
East,
in the East, yeah,
bro.
I mean, I'm saying,
Sean, do you not see that if they if you just take Trae out and you put Luka in when they beat New York and beat the Sixers, do they get to the finals? Yes or no?
They definitely going to Eastern Conference Finals.
To be fair, if Trae didn't twist his ankle against the Bucks, the Hawks most likely would have been in the finals. They very possibly could have been in the finals.
But if it was Luka with a twisted ankle, you would have been in the finals to play Giannis, and we would have seen what happened. I mean, you agree, Sean? Sean, you an NBA guy. What you think?
Hey, I agree. Luka's he moved the needle, man. He moved the needle, man.
Oh,
big time.
You do know this man put 70 on the Hawks. You do realize that he put 70 points on the Hawks because he took it personal.
I mean, we wouldn't surround them with nothing. We don't give our superstars anything. We just let them sit here and fumble around.
It's a one-man record crew, though, man. One-man record crew.
So Adam, let's bring it back to the NFL draft, man. So we got Hunter going too. I like that pick. I don't see how you could pass on him. I just feel so bad for Shadour, man, because he's such a talented guy, and it just seems like he's being overlooked. And for guys to be like, yeah, he has Tom Brady's intangibles, but I don't think I want him. How do you pass on somebody with Tom Brady's intangibles?
I mean, I won't say he has Tom Brady's intangibles, but I mean, I love the guy. Like, to me, he compares really well to like a Brock Purdy. Right. I know that guy. I know he was the last overall pick, but he shouldn't have been. But as far as like just perfect precision accuracy, I think it's a perfect comparison there, and the athleticism is pretty close too. Purdy ran like a 4.8 4.40, and then I mean, Shadour didn't run it, but he's projected to go like high 4.7s, low 4.8s. What makes Purdy special is like the 10-yard split, which again, I think like you see it on tape with Shadour Sanders, like you see the quick movements, just shutting it down really quick and letting a guy go by him, and just like the fluidity moving around the pocket, and then when you get out of the pocket. So like I don't see the straight lines. I saw someone compare him to Geno Smith today, but Geno Smith, like people forget he ran a 4.5 4.40. Like Geno Smith has some wheels.
I don't like that comparison, man.
Right.
I see it in the accuracy because Geno's been like the most accurate quarterback dating back to 2021.
True.
But yeah, so I mean, do you want me to say where I got Shadour going?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Where you got Shadour going?
Know.
I have him going number 9 of the Saints. I think it's a perfect pick. To me, it's you give him Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara as safety blankets, and then a healthy Rashid Shaheed, who people forget he was one of the best deep targets in the NFL before he got injured last year too. And then a re-signed Jawan Johnson. So it's a really nice offensive core. They're one of the top teams in the NFL offensively through like 4 or 5 weeks. Before then Shaheed went down, and then Olave from hospital passed for Derek Carr. Derek Carr himself went down.
Hey, me and Shop was just over here smiling the whole time. We was over here enjoying every minute of it.
I mean,
But I mean, he could go 3 to the Giants, but I don't see it with the quarterbacks they got. They're doing a private workout with him, and I talked about it on my podcast the other day. We're in smokescreen season, so I think the Giants might be just doing that just so a team might move up for him. My other possible landing spot is even to the Browns, but not at 2. They would take Travis Hunter at 2, and then if he's still on the board around like 10 to 15, then they would move up. Probably wouldn't have to give up a crazy amount of capital, and then you'd pair the 2 of them, which I'm not saying it's going to happen, but
I like that.
Todd McShay had it in his last mock draft. Had him still on the board at 15, and then had him take in Shadour Sanders there to pair. And it's a crazy idea, but I love it.
That'd be crazy. That'd be insane. He's still past 10. That's nuts.
Hey, so Sean, go ahead and get your money off, man. You here with the gridiron gumbo, man. You know, I know you salivating over this. That you want to use our number 1 player in Deion Sanders. You want to use his son against us. Go ahead, man.
Hey man, look, the hate is coming from another way. That's Dion sending the hate to us. But hey, come on, we wide open, and especially now because over on our side we got some craziness happening.
Yeah,
especially with our quarterback, our organization, we got some craziness. Hey man,
That's
I don't like getting scammed. I don't like getting scammed, and I don't like getting duped. But we got scammed and we got duped. So at this point, we literally have to pick him. If he's on the board at 9, we got to get Shadour. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it, man, because we're going into the season with technically nothing.
So, I mean, Shadour, do you start him day 1?
Yes. We've got nobody.
Yeah, possibly.
Adam,
I would give just let him battle it out. Like if he wins the job over Spencer Rattler, then But like people forget Spencer Rattler he was a really high prospect too.
Yeah.
He's got a cannon of an arm. He wasn't given a fair shot last year because everyone was injured at that point, and he still had some decent games. So I think you let him battle it out, kind of like Drake May scenario where he did outplay Jacoby Brissett, but they still put Brissett out there. So maybe unless he like is 10 times better than Rattler in the offseason, you put out Rattler for like the first 3 or 4 games, and if he's just not it, then you get Shadour out there. It's not even to like possibly spoil the season. It's just more to just not ruin Shadour and just to at least give him like a few, like if let him get in the NFL, get him in those meeting rooms and just like fully immerse himself, and then maybe throw him out there. But I think he could have like a Drake May like season where you see all the potential, but maybe not everything comes together right away. And then you're going into next year, and everything's just looking really good for maybe even a playoff run.
Okay. Yeah, and it's one of those, especially Spencer Rattler. I don't know if we fumbled it, man, last year with the coaching and not giving them the opportunities. I do want him to, he's with us. I do want him to give it a shot, but I think Shadour, the pressure's gonna be on it. We draft Shadour Sanders day one.
Y'all
didn't
fumble it.
Starting.
Y'all just did what the Saints do. That's what the Saints do. Wow. You were just being the Saints. It's okay.
Wow.
Hey, you're absolutely right. Hey, wait a minute. Wasn't the Falcons in the same situation with a quarterback that duped them?
Bruh, that man is not even in the NFL anymore. Roller Coaster Ritter don't even have a job. So, last time I checked, I had a better record than you.
He's still. Hey, I'm not even arguing that. We've been doing this since college, man.
No, I love it. I love it. I can feel the chemistry. It's great.
Yo, so let me ask y'all this real quick, man. So I've heard some rumors that Mike Tomlin and the Steelers really want Shadour. Could you see a scenario where they jump up and leapfrog the Saints to take it?
I don't know. I can't remember the last time the Steelers like made a big jump up in the draft. So from that standpoint, not necessarily. But if he was still sitting there at like a pick like 15, where it wouldn't cost that much to move up a few picks, then definitely that same type of like Browns moving up to 15 scenario. Right. Or I mean, if he's sitting there at 21, I think 100% that's what they're gonna do. I know Shadour said it was like a 10 out of 10 interview with the Steelers.
Right.
So, I mean, it seems like he would like it a lot as well. I've heard a lot of people in the media say like, yeah, it might hurt for a year, just not necessarily being the guy right away, but just being in an organization like the Steelers would be huge for him. But I can't say I want it to happen, being a Seahawks fan and having Ben Roethlisberger beat us that one Super Bowl. And for whatever reason, I've always felt like the Steelers are one of my rivals teams, you know?
That's the surprising thing. Like the two teams that really messed up their quarterback situation, like you got the Giants. I don't understand their strategy. You went and got, I understand you get one of those guys, right? I understand you get one of those guys and then draft a QB, but they went and got Jameis and they went and got Mr. Unlimited.
Russell Wilson,
right? Yeah. And so what are you doing? I know Dave was on the hot seat and so is GM, but like Shadour is, to me, would be the like you go get him. This is a prospect, like you said, Adam. He has all the intangibles. He's a very precise quarterback. And then the Steelers, I've never seen them in this situation where we're just waiting for whatever Aaron Rodgers decides.
I know. This is weird.
It's weird, especially after trading for DK Metcalf. Like you have two of the best deep ball receivers in the league. Like I thought they were going to re-sign Russell Wilson because like he looked great with Pickens those first few games. He's arguably got like the best moon ball in the league. From that standpoint, I think if my favorite spot for Jalen Milroe to land is the Giants in round 2. And then just learn from Russell Wilson and then learn like how to be a good locker room presence from Jameis. That combination being under them, I think it would be huge. But speaking of the Steelers, that's another popular landing spot for Milroe. I know they love him as well, and a lot of people are just saying like just pick him at 21. So I think he is an early second round grade for me. I could see him going at the end of the first, but I really like him at the beginning of the second though, and also to the Browns. That's another spot. So if they go Travis Hunter, and then if Jalen Milroe is sitting there in the second round, I love that pick. And then you could still, if your team's not good, you could still potentially draft an Arch Manning next year, and then trade Jalen Milroe if he's or like there's many scenarios in that spot, but like give yourself as many options as possible.
Yeah, draft Arch and hold him hostage. So let's jump into what's going on. You know, we got the Rise Up Rundown on here, Falcon Show, and of course we got Gridiron Gumbo, our Saints show. Let's go ahead, I guess, in order, since they were so bad, they do have a higher draft pick than us. What do you have the Saints kind of doing in the draft, man? What do you see them walking away with?
If they don't go with Shadour Sanders, say he's off the board already. I mean, I love Mike Green. I'm a huge Mike Green fan.
Yeah, me too.
He's my favorite edge guy after Abdul Carter. Well, after Jalen Walker as well. But I think Jalen Walker goes 8 to the Panthers. And then in this scenario, Mike Green would be on the board. But if Shadour's there, he's my guy. Otherwise, Mike Green. And then maybe I would go for like a cornerback 1 if, say, Mike Green went 8 to the Panthers or something. Jahdae Barron, Will Johnson, I think would be great fits there as well.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Walker, if he's there, those would be like my guys as backup options if Shadur's not there.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
On the flip side, NFC South, Atlanta Falcons rise up. Come on, you see it. What do you have the Falcons doing, man? What do you think the Falcons should do at 15 and kind of beyond?
Falcons, my most Falcons, I think they really need to go edge rusher.
Thank you.
So Michael Williams is currently the guy that I have mocked right there. In the last few mocks I've been putting him there. Mike Green's my dream scenario if he's still on the board.
Yes.
If not, just get Michael Williams. He had over 4.5 sacks all 3 years at Georgia. I think it was 14. So he was like 4.5, 5 in whatever order. So he's consistent. And he's got like freakishly long arms, so he can still grow into his body even more. But he's already like a freak of an athlete, so I think that just instantly opens up everything, makes the defense way better. Because you guys signed Leonard Floyd, I think
we did.
So, but you need someone opposite it. Like that's like one guy, and then like he's getting up there in age too. So who knows what he's got left in the tank. And then it's like David Onyemata, I think, is like the next guy. So
Brady's gone. He's in.
We got Ebiketie, we got Onyemata.
Ebiketie. I do like him.
Yeah, well, and then we got Snacks. We'll see what Snacks Harrison will do. Tell me, Adam. Well, tell the people like who are not like breaking down tape. What are the biggest differences between a Mike Green and a Michael Williams? What are the different compare and contrast between the two?
So Mike Green, I just think there's just the production's even greater there. Some people would say small school at Marshall, but he had some big games against bigger schools as well. To me, he does it all. So he was the only pass rusher, including Abdul Carter, that had over a 90 run grade and pass rushing grade from Pro Football Focus. So to me, it's just that run stopping ability. So he could be like DeMarcus Lawrence has had an insanely good career. Now joining my Seahawks, very excited about that. So I think his peak could be like a Tank Lawrence. So just because he's that guy that can set the edge, like sometimes he's overlooked because he hasn't put up the sack numbers, especially since Micah Parsons has joined.
Right.
But on that run defense, he still shows up time and time again. So I honestly think, just DeMarcus Lawrence. So he's a little bit more of that run stopper, whereas Michael Williams, you see it on tape. He's coming from a great school from Georgia. Like you can never go wrong just drafting a Georgia defender is what I've learned. And it's like so I'll have this school as like a feather in the cap for a player, but I try not to like take it away, like use the school against someone. Because then you miss on players like Drake May. Like some people are like, oh, he's coming out of UNC. Like they never produce any good quarterback prospects. So people are saying bust. And I was a huge Drake May fan going into the draft last year.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this real quick. When we talk about the Falcons, we got a little bit of a shell shock because last year we just knew it was Dallas Turner, and then it ends up being Michael Penix, which was a good pick. Do you see the Falcons potentially Terry Fontenot going off the reservation and going offense again? Is there any possibility you see that?
I mean, you never know. I can't see it personally. It would blow my mind because I mean, even if it's a great tight end class, but like I still think Kyle Pitts can be good. I think Michael Penix is going to unlock him. I just think he's just had inconsistent quarterback play. I was kind of surprised when Kirk Cousins didn't make him good, but then Kirk had his own problems.
Right.
Like you already got Bijan. You still have Algier, so like you don't need to go running back. The only way, like I guess you could go, you could go wide receiver. Yeah, you could go wide receiver. That's another need right there. But
we keep hearing tackle. Like I hear tackle in little pockets here and there. You got Penix. Now you got to get someone to protect him. And I've been hearing it here and there a little too much, because the one thing the Falcons do is avoid the obvious every time. Harry avoids the obvious. Dallas Turner was as clear cut a choice as you could have had. Now we did get Penix, which we all love, right? And it worked out weird enough to where he's now the guy. But if you don't get an edge rusher this year, when will you draft an edge rusher? Really?
Exactly. It's the class is so stacked. Right. I mean, maybe if they're in love with Mike Green and he's not on the board, you could try to move back a couple picks, and you're still gonna guarantee, like, because some of the best edge rushers are still there. At, like, I have Donovan Izaraku out of Boston College going to the Ravens at 27, and some people have him going top 15. So from the standpoint of, you can put a lot of the edge rushers in different orders. The Falcons could pick up some more capital and move back, but I think just stay at 15. Just make sure you take your best edge rusher on the board and just move forward from that standpoint. But I mean, they could go receiver, but like you have Drake London, so like you don't need a Tetsuo McMillan. He's almost like a clone of him. A Matthew Golden, but like Darnell Mooney also has that speed and agility game and the deep threat. So, and you have Kyle Pitts, who's half wide receiver, half tight end, like can run real fast in a straight line. And then Bijan and Algier. So I hope they don't go offense. And from the offensive line, I'll hit on that real quick. If Armand Membu or Will Campbell are somehow on the board at 15, then yes, 100% you could go line, and I think you should go line at that point. Right. But and like the Seahawks are, that's the biggest need at 18. And a lot of people think they should just take them, but I think the two top ones are going to be off the board, and then they all kind of have a few problems after that, if it's size or technique or whatever it is. So for the Seahawks, I want them to move back if they are going to take O-line, and then pick at like 25, and you could probably still get like Kelvin Banks or Josh Connerly or those. One of the other. Yeah, like they're great players, and it's the others. Yeah, and it's really deep in the trenches. Like defensive line, running back are probably the deepest areas, but the offensive line, it's a really deep class there. And honestly, the more research I'm doing on the wide receiver prospects, I have like 10 guys I really like now. So it's like it's way deeper at wide receiver than people think too. It's going to end up being another insanely good class. And we might see 40 running backs come off the board.
And the Falcons can address that later in the draft. I mean, they can address that later in the draft. And Mooney has made Rondell more expendable. So go ahead, Sean.
Hey, so we got our new coach, Kellen Moore, coming off Super Bowl. So he's getting, thank you. So he's pretty much getting the keys to the car. He's offensive minded, and as you said earlier, we've got a lot of offensive pieces. So I mean, what do you see after the first and the second round where the Saints will start plugging in? Are we going defense, or is Kellen Moore just gonna rub his hands and say, hey, look, I want to get off this my first year the right way, and I want to get the right picks for my offense to get it rolling?
I mean, I could see him going. I mean, it would make sense to grab a running back. I think for any team, it's not a bad idea to grab a running back. Alvin Kamara is getting up there in age. I'm drawing a blank on the RB2 that's supposed to be good, but has been injured with he's been hurt. Nagging hamstring injuries for the past 2 years. So I think grabbing a running back at some point is smart. But say they did go Shadour with the first pick. I think grabbing a guy like Jaden Higgins, I love him. If they were to grab a wide receiver, he probably would have to be a round 2 guy.
Right.
So from that standpoint, honestly, I really like the Saints going cornerback in round 2 because there's a lot of second tier prospects that could be on the board there.
Definitely.
Otherwise, I mean, it's really deep in the edge and offensive line. So I think, you just keep scooping up the best guy in the trenches through the middle rounds. That's like the Seahawks have 10 picks. Any 7-round mock I've done with them, it's just grab any big guy in the middle of the rounds after you get like the exact guys you want. but I can't say I've gone super duper deep doing like a full Saints draft, like full 7 rounds.
They got some needs on the OL too. I mean, Sean, if you guys go ahead and get Shadour, like it makes sense for them to go on and pick up some offensive linemen, you know.
Right.
And if you know, Adam's saying it's a deep, like it, if it's deep at all these positions, which is good for both of us, to be honest. Everybody here is good for your team.
Right.
It makes sense for even the Falcons to pick up some 3rd round OL. You know, get some solidify that, because we got Penix too. Everybody's getting these shiny new quarterback pieces. We need to protect them.
We ain't got nothing protecting them.
Well,
I
don't want to see Shadour running for his life again.
Me neither.
Let's go short in the NFL. His career.
Me neither.
His career will be shortened.
Yeah.
It didn't catch up to him in college, but in NFL it will catch up to him.
Oh, for sure.
I got to ask you a question. We talk about a guy at Ashton Genty. Where do you see him falling right now? Because some people saying this guy could be a top, 10 pick.
I got him as a top 10 guy for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. All my mocks the last like 3-4 weeks, I found like he's just solidified going to the Raiders for me.
Oh wow!
So for Pete Carroll, longtime Seahawks coach, so like I know a lot about Pete Carroll. He loves to get his running back. If they don't go and like maybe get like a Marshawn Lynch replacement. So if like they don't go that route though, he does love grabbing DBs in round 1 as well. So he could, but like I think 6 is too early. So then in that scenario, they could possibly move back to a team that's like between 10 and 15. But if he doesn't go 6, I don't think he lasts past the Bears. I think Ben Johnson wants to find his Jahmyr Gibbs. Or find his Jahmyr Gibbs. So I don't think he lasts past 10. And I've even heard like whispers that the Bears will for sure take him if he's there at 10. So I don't think he slips past 10.
Caleb Williams, that helps Caleb Williams out a lot.
Right.
Oh,
that's right. That's
exactly.
Huge.
Yeah.
And they have some good receive. They have most of the offensive core already. So just getting that running back, and then DeAndre Swift can still be